Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our nostalgic or problematic series where we are rewatching now season 3 of Dawson's Creek. We made it through the first 2 seasons. We are back with season 3, and a whole bunch of crazy stuff happens in season 3. So we'll start with episode 1. It's called Like a Virgin, and the summary is as such. After a summer away, Dawson returns to face a decision about Joey. Jen uses cheerleading tryouts to teach someone a lesson.
Ooh. So first of all, this seems to be the Dawson's Creek way and I think a lot of shows used to do this and maybe still do, that it ends in like the springtime, literally when you watch it, and then it starts again in the fall.
Well, that's how TV seasons went, because they would do reruns in the summer.
Right.
Yeah.
So they actually follow that trajectory where we don't see what happens in the summer. It is just now 3 months later or whatever. And so we kind of learn what everyone's been up to in retrospect.
Right.
Yes.
But see, season 1 did not end like that. Remember?
That's right. It was the very next day.
It was the very next day.
Oh, so this is the only time they've done it.
So far.
Yeah, so far.
And then they have to be like, they always have to throw in like weird sentences like, well, all summer long, Dawson, Joey's been blah, 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 blah. Like, just so you know what's going on.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that.
Okay, so Brittany Daniels,
the new hot girl. And I mean, I say hot because she says to Dawson, I run hot. I run a few degrees hot.
The over-sexuality of her.
It's a lot.
It's so, like, at first, it's like, okay, cool. She's like a confident, sexual, older lady to Dawson. Not to
Dawson.
I don't mean like in real life. She's in her 20s. But it's like so much.
Yeah.
It was so much.
And so he meets her
on the bus
on the way home from Philadelphia, because he's been at this film camp school fellowship situation. And so he wakes up and she's next to him and she's telling him that he's drooling in his sleep. And then she touches his hand or something, and then he's like, do you have a fever or something?
That's so stupid.
And she's like, I run a few degrees hot. And I was like, what's going on with
Is that why they put her in little amounts of clothes as possible?
I don't know. Her aesthetic, though, was very much like 1999 aesthetic.
Oh my God. Troy walked in when I was watching one, and he saw her. He was like, oh, you used to wear your makeup like that.
See? And the short platinum blonde hair.
Yeah.
And like the little, like the matching crop and skirt, like almost like a pencil skirt.
Yeah.
And like the crop that was floral usually with the little spaghetti straps.
I never could wear that because I've never had, like, my stomach's always been a problem area. So I never got to wear that.
I don't think I ever.
You did. I have pictures of you in crop tops.
Yeah. I used to wear some crop tops.
And you were tan too.
I was so tan.
And blonde. Look at that.
That's what I'm saying.
Tan,
even
blonde,
the people,
and crop tops.
I mean, I'm still sort of tan. I don't deliberately try
you're
to
olive
be more
tan.
tan. Yeah, I'm olive. I protect my skin way better now. But the blonde was definitely a sign of the times,
I was blonde too,
kind of thing. Although I was like super blonde like 5 years ago.
Yeah,
just because I kind of slowly started going back to it. And then eventually, like around COVID, I was just like,
it's so much upkeep.
This is so expensive. I have so much hair. And then as it started to grow out naturally, I was like, I like the color of my hair, actually. And it's fun to experiment, as we've said, with hair.
Yeah,
but
I'm doing natural. I hate my natural hair, but
I love it.
It's all right. It is what it is. Okay, so Brittany Daniels, Sweet Valley High, the TV show, her and her twin sister were on.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was funny, like I was watching this on Hulu, which, by the way, Dawson is expiring from there in like 12 days.
What? He just keeps jumping around.
I know, which is even less by the time y'all hear this.
Yeah. Weird.
What are we going to do?
I mean, so it was on Amazon Prime, and then it skipped over to Hulu. So I guess wherever it goes, we'll grab it.
Although you keep paying for it.
I paid for all of season 2 on Amazon.
Even though it's free?
I guess
on Hulu. See, I will not pay for something extra if I'm already paying for something else that has it.
Here's the deal. Convenience. At 4:30 or 5 in the morning when I'm usually watching these, I can't remember my dang Hulu password. No one's awake to help me. And I forget to ask later in the day for the next time. And Prime will be like, do you want to pick up where you left off? And I'm like, for $1.99, yes, I do. Take me where I need to go. And they do.
That's so funny.
And it's awesome.
Well, I don't do anything at 4:30.
Maybe it'll go back to Prime.
It might.
That'd be great.
Maybe it's going to Disney Plus. That's where everything goes.
True.
Although they own Hulu, so
yeah,
wrong.
All
right. Well, anyway, moving on. Okay, boo, boo, boo. The fat shaming by the cheerleader.
Oh, I hated that.
Now, I will say, we're recording this on the same day we recorded our Porky's episode,
which will come out later.
It will come out later. And I was like, I cannot wait for our discussion today because it has so much of the same themes.
It really does.
I know. Which goes to show you teenagers remain the same.
But can we talk about that girl's cheer?
Oh my God.
It was the Paula Cole song.
The Paula Cole song. I wrote that down somewhere.
I don't want to wait for this game to be over. And she's like doing her little cheer. So were they supposed to bring their own cheer to the audition? That was strange.
What?
It was like a theater audition.
I know.
Bring your own cheer.
Bring your own cheers. But we're skipping ahead because
I know. Sorry.
I did that. Okay. Did you find it weird that? All right, Joey's working this other job at the dock because their restaurant burned down and all this bullshit. And Bessie was like, Joey, you have to work 2 jobs right now until I can find a babysitter. I'm like, wait a minute. Why can't Bessie be the one working weird hours in the morning and stuff before Joey goes to school?
So Joey could babysit.
So Joey is home and then goes to school and then...
And Bessie could go to work. Whatever happened to the boyfriend?
I don't know.
It's never explained. She's just suddenly a single mom.
I don't know. And so I was like, why? Wait a minute. Why is Joey carrying the weight? And she's like, until I get a babysitter. I'm like, wait.
This doesn't add up.
I get it. Like, you need to be there with the baby while Joey's at school. But before and after school, Bessie.
You could be pumping gas down on that dock.
There you go.
And then this new guy that she works with.
Who's such a dick.
Rob.
If that is Rob, the name. Yacht guy, boat person.
Yeah.
I don't know. But like, okay. Then also, Pacey and Dawson go to a strip club.
I know.
Seriously.
Episode 1. Yeah. To like, what? Just reconnect after the summer? Because Dawson's been gone. It's like, well, we should go hang out at the strip club.
No, it's because he brings him there because he like needs some. Pacey tells him he needs something, and then he's like, "This year we're gonna get you laid."
Yeah,
I find that humorous because
I also find that
again,
funny.
We watched that in Porky's, but guys, that is accurate teenage boyhood right there.
Yeah,
and girls too, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not as hard for girls.
And I think it's
later, find willing participants.
I think it's like, yeah, exactly.
If you are after a straight boy, it's not that hard. Let me clarify that.
Well, I think it's later in the episode, Dawson's talking to Eve. That's Brittany Daniels' name. And she asks him if he's a virgin, or maybe he's talking to Pacey and someone asks him and he's like,
I'm more than a virgin.
He's like, what's below that?
And I was like,
yeah. Like, what's the level below that? It was just really
weird.
funny. Oh, it was Eve because she goes, everything before it or whatever, or something like that.
Can we please just talk about how a girl her age, whatever it is, they never say, and that smoking hot would not be after Dawson Leary.
I could see her maybe hitting on him on the bus. But then to keep like showing up at his house and then his school and then like all the things like, and then he's at the strip club and she like makes it known that like she works there. That's like she's chasing him. Like, I don't think there'd be a chase. I think maybe she'd flirt with him on the bus. I'll buy into that.
Also, though, they don't say how old she is.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking, but obviously she's in her 20s.
I would think so.
And I'm like, wait a minute. Dawson's still not 18. So this is still,
I know,
still creepy ass pedophilia.
Yes.
Again, from a female predator.
Correct.
What do we do in Dawson's
And then
Creek,
when I saw her at the school, which is, I guess, the next episode, I was like, oh my God, is she a teacher now? Shit. And then, like, we're doing this all over again?
No, but then the next episode, she lies, and we're going to talk about it anyway, so we can intertwine the two. The next episode, she lies about who she is and her age so she can go to school there.
Yeah, it was weird. She's like, I'm a senior.
Okay, psycho.
Yeah, strange.
And the only reason they don't think she's a psycho is because she's hot?
Yeah, because she's good looking.
Hello, have y'all seen Fatal Attraction? Like, hot people can be super psycho. Have you seen American Psycho? Christian Bale's super hot.
Ooh.
And he's a serial killer. Come on.
Yeah. Seriously.
Seriously.
And even Pacey, he's like, oh, you better not let that one slip away if she comes across your path.
Don't worry,
again.
she's stalking you.
Don't worry, she's not slipping away to anything.
Okay. Oh, and speaking of that, do you see what I wrote here? Why do shows always make it seem like older women want virgins?
It's weird.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Definitely no. Like, if you're the same age as the person, I don't think it's a big deal. But why would you be older and deliberately
want that?
But
if you're a grown-ass lady like this woman is, I mean, she's not like Miss Jacobs. She's in her 20s.
Yeah.
Why would she want some 16-year-old virgin? Look, we know how that's going to go, guys.
Yeah. It's weird.
That's weird.
That's just that men in a writing
fantasy.
room. Yeah.
Male writer fantasy.
That the hot, experienced women are going to want me even though I'm a virgin.
Like, I do not have time for that.
Yeah.
I need you to know what you're doing.
That's what? Right? I know. I mean, you're right.
When I was young, it didn't matter because I didn't know either.
It's an odd, like, statement.
It is.
It's weird. And they keep doing it.
Especially, like, okay. And again, we're speaking from a, like, straight woman, straight man relationship here. Because there's a lot of things you got to learn about a woman's body.
Oh, yeah.
If you are not a woman in a woman's body and you would like to be with one.
Right.
And teenage boys, especially then, now at least they have the internet. But they can,
yeah. They can look up a few things.
Do some research.
Yeah.
But, like, guys.
Yeah.
It bothers me.
I know. And I just thought the over-sexualization of her, too,
was so much. It was everything.
Yeah.
Everything. It was like her whole character
Does it
just
kind of
struts
get
around.
Explained more as it goes on? How many more episodes is she in?
I know. She stays. I didn't like her in this season. She's in a few episodes.
Okay.
And I just was like, I don't really get her whole.
Yeah. Well, and one comment I had in my notes just in general is, why does everyone look so much older?
I know.
Like, all of them. Like, Dawson's hair is like a darker shade.
I know.
Joey looks more grown up. I mean, I guess it's the point. They're getting older, but they all looked like college age or older to me. Suddenly.
Because they were.
Right. But, like, I was kind of.
I know.
I was kind of like, okay. And I was like, wow, they really look a lot older.
But to be fair, a lot happens over summer for teenagers. I mean, Caden grew one summer between his freshman and sophomore year, like 6 inches.
Okay.
Literally. So it happens.
Fair. It does. It happens fast. Yeah.
Anyway,
but they do look a lot older to me.
What do you got? I still have a few more things. Do you have anything?
I said just in general, the whole storyline where Jen signs up to try out to be a cheerleader.
And she said they made her head cheerleader. You could have just said no.
She's like, Jack's like, oh, did you make the squad? She's like, even worse. They made me head cheerleader. And then as they're like, cheering and doing these sort of like sardonic, sarcastic cheers, right? Instead of actual school spirit. Jen even then is like, well, this is just what they want to do. And I'm like, are you head cheerleader or not?
But it also went against everything she fucking said.
Exactly.
And she's like, oh, they're making me. And I'm like, bitch, what?
Yeah.
Decide who you are.
Exactly. Like, yeah, exactly.
Although you're a teenager, so
it'll be a while before you can figure all that out.
You're not going to know.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like this season they try, and maybe this is why they look older. I feel like this season they tried to make the show more edgy, quote unquote.
Okay.
Hence the strip club, Eve, Dawson getting a blowjob on a boat. What?
Yeah.
Well, attempted. I don't know if it didn't actually happen.
It's hard to say because
they don't ever say. Like, did it crash during or did it crash
because he was all
at a pivotal moment?
Yeah. Ooh, I don't know.
Somebody clear that up for us.
Someone tell us
if Dawson got a blowjob on a boat.
Right. We need to know. Someone tell us. Because we couldn't tell from the actual show. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. What are we talking about today, guys? Okay. I'm still laughing about that. Okay. Okay. So then Joey tries to like throw herself at Dawson.
Mm-hmm. So Dawson
throws a strip club party.
throws a strip club party at his house, which I wondered where his dad was. And
He
then
said in
later-
the beginning of the episode he was going to a coaching convention or something.
Okay. So he was out of town.
Yeah, because remember Pacey was like, oh, you got an empty house. And
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So he has the strip club at his house because he needs to raise over $3,000 because he crashed his dad's boat into the
blowjob
dock.
crash.
That whole thing. Which is when Joey notices there's a girl with him on the boat.
Right.
So this whole strip club party is going on downstairs. They raise enough money. Yay, hooray. So so of course Dawson goes up to his room to sit in the quiet.
To sulk. Like, of course he leaves a strip club party.
Right.
Of course
in
Dawson
his own
leaves
house.
a
Yeah,
strip
sure.
club
I'm going to
party.
go up to my room now.
Okay, yeah.
And then Joey comes through the window and she's all, did you miss me? Of course I missed you. You know, it's this whole thing. The lighting is like all shattered. There's no lights on in this room.
Right.
And they're just kind of, and so then she, I guess kind of throws herself at him.
She does. She takes her shirt off and then he stops her, which
hello
would not happen with a teenage boy.
Mm-mm.
And this girl that you've loved forever takes her clothes off in front of you.
Right. I feel like the physical side, of course, but even the emotional side would take over.
Right.
And you'd be like, wow, it's happening.
Especially if you're 16.
Yeah. But he's like, no.
I know.
I think things are good the way they are.
And then she says again, I'm sexual, Dawson. What?
Oh.
But I feel bad because I felt bad for her because she said, you love me, you just don't want me. And I was like, ow.
And it's true.
It is true.
At least at this point. Yeah. Oh, so that was kind of how that. Oh, well, then Joey, at funny part at the end of that episode, Joey then goes back home, I guess, and is sitting on her dog. And here comes Pacey in the rowboat.
Well, I love that because
love
it's
that
foreshadowing for what's going to happen later in the season. I hope you remember.
I do.
Okay.
And so he says to her, she goes, what do you want? Or whatever. He goes, it's weird. I got in this rowboat and it just came to your house. It just floated on over from Dawson's. It's funny. It knew where to go or whatever. I thought that was a funny line. And so now they're kind of bonding over this. And they decide, I guess it's in the next episode, because they talk about how Andie is coming back.
Yeah, we can start talking about
Let's start talking about it because that's basically all of the first episode.
Let me see if I didn't write down the summary anyway, so it's fine.
Okay, so the second one's called
Homecoming.
Right. Not the dance, but we're talking about Andie coming back, basically, from her, mental health.
Okay, well, this is where I had a problem because the dad and Jack are talking, and the dad's like, oh, she's had Jack, or maybe it wasn't the dad and Jack, but somebody says like, oh, she has had a full recovery. Mm-hmm. And the dad's like, well, the doctor says with mental illness, you're never out of the woods. I just didn't like how they talked about it. I didn't like that.
You didn't like that?
No, because I felt like I don't like it when they say mental illness to begin with.
Oh, okay.
Well, there was a few things there. It's also just like I'd rather, and I say it sometimes too because it's like antiquated phrasing that just gets stuck in my head.
Yeah.
But I always like to say mental health issues because sometimes it's a disorder or it's whatever. And like, it's just a very big category for a lot of little bitty things that could be all over the gamut.
Sure.
Right? And I just feel like they said, oh, she's had a full recovery. And yes, he's right. You don't have a full recovery from like mental health issues that you're probably going to deal with the rest of your life. Sometimes you can have things like, for instance, I had postpartum depression that set in after I gave birth because my hormones shifted so much, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's situational and also physical.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I have anxiety that I deal with for the rest of my life. That has nothing to do with that. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
So while you can have a full recovery from like a postpartum situation, I will never have a full recovery from anxiety. But I don't like how like you're never out of the woods. I don't know. It just was weird for me.
I just took it to mean, and I understand what you're saying. I just took it to mean, by the way, it's not curable.
Yeah, it was the way they spoke about it that was just rubbing me wrong.
Yeah, that's fair.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very sensitive when it comes to these kind of things.
Yeah, I get it.
So, okay. Again, I wrote down, this girl Eve would not be hot for Dawson.
No way.
It bothered me so much.
Especially now. Like, as an adult. Like, yeah. I know. It's weird.
I think it's weird
how obsessed she is.
I know. She's a psycho. And I don't, like, as I was watching, I'm like, oh, she's psychotic, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
And I don't think that ever set into me as a young person.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in college when this came out. And I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, oh my God, we are introduced to Henry.
Yes.
I forgot about Henry, and I loved him. This whole season, I love Henry so much. I love him. I loved him then. I love him now. And I don't know if you ever watched the show. Do you know, Troy walked in and I said, you recognize that actor? And he was like, no. It's like he was in Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I never watched that show.
Okay. Well, anyway, fun little fact for you guys. We only watched some of it because then it just got to be really violent and I just couldn't handle it anymore. And then there was like this whole incest storyline and I was like, I'm done. Yeah. Where it was him, his character slept with his mom and it was like,
it's like, okay, this is too far.
We're like, and we're done.
Too far.
Like, it was good at first and then it just got to be too much. But anyway, fun fact, he was in Boardwalk Empire.
Got it.
What do you have? Do you have notes?
Oh, let me see.
I'm just like reading all my notes. Katie didn't finish this episode, so
I didn't finish the episode, so I was just kind of watching it this morning as I was getting ready, so I don't have a lot of notes.
Okay, well,
but we'll talk about.
All right, let's talk about the funniness of Dawson going to buy condoms.
Oh my God!
And then like all these people like weigh in their opinions,
and then there's like the music playing underneath, and like do 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 do, like elevator music
so good.
under the whole
so
scene.
Funny.
It was so funny, and the cashier's like, we don't keep them behind the counter anymore, son. And then the men in the aisle like stocking up.
I know. That's so creepy.
At one point I was like, is he dreaming again? Like, is this just an embarrassing dream?
Right. Yeah.
Because it was so over the top.
And like that, what kind of creepy man approaches a teenage boy in the condom aisle stocking up, hey?
And then a totally different grown man is like, well, back in my day, they only had two kinds, the regular and for those of us that need something more or whatever.
And then the lady was like, if you really want to blow her mind, get this whatever.
Yeah.
And then she goes back and gets a box. Yeah. Which, by the way, those don't work. So you won't blow anybody's mind with those.
Don't take that lady's advice. She's a paid actress.
I feel like we've talked about ribbed condoms before.
I don't know.
Didn't we? Because we were like, who designed them?
I think so, yeah. That sounds familiar.
Why were we
It's been a while back.
I
don't know if it's in a movie or if it was in Dawson's.
I don't know, but
I don't remember.
You never know what you're going to hear on these Dawson's episodes.
I know. We talked about it during Can't Hardly Wait.
Oh, yeah.
Because of Kenny.
That's right.
That's why. So listen to that episode. That's over a year old because we did that for my birthday last year. Yeah.
That's great.
So yeah, so the condom scene was really funny. And I think what was genius about it is that we all feel everyone's watching us and
nobody is
passing an opinion when we're grabbing those kinds of things. But really, like, so that's what was genius about it.
Yeah.
Because it's like the worst case scenario that you think might happen when you're that age and you're trying to buy like condoms or something. And like that.
And isn't it funny how like you just evolve as a person? Because now I'll just throw in some KY jelly at Walmart with like my cucumbers and oranges and grapes.
And you're just like, ring it up.
Like what?
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
Although buying KY jelly with cucumbers is probably not.
I was like, that's a bit far. But I
just meant with my groceries.
Yeah, I think as long as they bag it separately, it's okay. I think. I think it's all right. That's the hill I'll die on. I don't have many.
Put the lube away from the produce.
Yes, I don't have many foundational beliefs, but that is one.
Lube and produce belong in separate bags,
plastic Walmart bags. Yes, please.
All right.
But yeah, that scene was really funny.
It was. All right. Yes. Another scene. Hello. This is when Dawson's dad becomes a football coach.
All right. So perfect.
Let's do it.
I thought he was going to ask Dawson to play.
Girl, Dawson.
I know, but I'm thinking about Varsity Blues.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to cross.
We got to add that fall. We need to watch that in the fall.
Yeah. Oh, that would be a good one. Him as a football coach is perfect, in my opinion. And
it is.
The Minutemen, which I love.
I do too.
There's a school here that's their name too.
Really?
I want to say it's Cocoa.
Oh, that's
Cocoa
hilarious.
High or the Minutemen. And I don't even know, what is that? Is that a military term?
Isn't that what the soldiers were called in like Revolutionary War?
Yeah, it sounds right. So
that's probably.
I know it's something
wrong.
military.
I feel like I need to look that up because
okay, look it up.
I'm scared to type in. I'm scared to search Minutemen in my because like my searches are super weird because of this podcast, and you never know what's gonna.
And it just heard what you were saying about your Walmart trip, so who knows what it's gonna pull up.
Yeah, American Revolution, colonial militiamen known for being ready to fight at a minute's notice. I was right.
Awesome.
Correct war and everything.
Right war and everything. So
anyway, moving on.
So yes, so he becomes the football coach, but the team is notoriously bad.
Yeah.
They've lost, like Pacey says something like 38-0 or something like that. They've lost like years and years and years in a row. And it's not a good team. Nobody cares about the football team, etc.
And then he asked Jack, because Jack just happened to be catching a football.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he didn't ask Jack. Henry saw him.
Yes.
And because Henry's the running back, or I don't know. I don't know anything about sports.
He's trying to be the quarterback.
The quarterback. And then Jack is the running back?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I don't know sports, guys. Whatever. So anyway, Jack has to like fight all these stereotypes because he's like the gay football player. But also like how stupid that it was so like,
yeah.
Hello, gay men can be good athletes.
Oh, and are many of them.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
That's what
like,
you're
I don't
saying.
mean like it's possible. I mean, yes,
saying,
they are.
Like, they actually are.
Like, why is that so like hard to believe?
I know.
Hello,
especially like a young man,
so antiquated and stupid. Like,
I know,
it's
dumb.
It's so dumb.
But so when Dawson's dad, when Mitch approaches Jack about it, and right away Jack's like, no, like. Imagine like the scrutiny, imagine the whatever, which I kind of get too.
Oh no, he doesn't want the spotlight. If you're just
trying to be like under the radar and figure your life out and just be who you want to be, but not necessarily get a lot of attention paid to you.
Right.
I totally get that.
Right.
But I think what Dawson's dad was saying too was like, hey, like, doesn't matter, like you can be good at this and whoever you are, and so that was all true too.
Well, and also too, I think from a safety standpoint, putting yourself as a newly out gay male teenager into an environment that is traditional toxic straight masculinity, it's probably pretty scary.
Of course. Yeah, of course. So I understood Jack's hesitation, but I was glad that he decided to
and
join.
Then, okay.
What?
I had something else.
Oh my God, what?
So Dawson's like packing up his trunk for like his surprise sexual rendezvous with this girl, right?
Oh God, I know what you're going to say.
And Jen sits there to give him sex advice. Okay, guys, she's 16.
I know.
Now, granted, we know that she has had multiple partners at this point, but still, you are 16.
Mm-hmm.
And she's giving him advice, but when she said this one sentence, I
know what you're gonna say.
You do?
Yeah, because I saw this part.
I laughed for so long. She said her last bit of advice to Dawson, because she had all these analogies with ice cream, and sundaes.
Do you let the sundae melt a little?
Yes.
Or do you just bite right in?
Right. Which, I mean, some of their advice wasn't bad, but also whatever. She said, if you don't get whipped cream all over your face, you ain't doing it right. Yeah. I died laughing.
It was a lot. You know what it reminded me of? An American Pie, the friend, Natasha, whatever her name is, with the red curly hair, who talks about like double clicking your mouse and like somehow knows all this stuff about sex, but she's just like a teenage girl.
I know.
But she's like the sage of all the sexual advice. It reminded me of that.
Yeah.
And yeah, and she was saying to Dawson, like, it's a two-way street. And I mean, she
that's
wasn't
not
necessarily saying anything wrong.
No,
but it was
not
just
wrong.
like the premise that like she would have all the wisdom. Advice. Yeah, it was a lot.
I just laughed and I'm like, okay. I mean, also not incorrect, but still it made me laugh. And then on the flip side, we have Andie and her confession.
Yeah. From her stay. So Pacey and Joey come and kind of come a day early. They're a day early. Which, first of all, that whole thing was weird when the nurse wouldn't let them back.
I know, and like they wouldn't just let her out of like a mental health facility.
Yeah.
With her buddies.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't. It was weird. Whatever.
It was weird. And then like Joey faked having a mental crisis. Weird. The whole thing was strange, but the premise was so that they could sneak back there and see her.
And get her out early.
Which when they get to her room, she's in there with this other guy. just sitting on the bed talking, but still. And then like she seems hesitant to go with them, and then she seems sad that she's leaving the guy, and so you already are like, oh, something's changed.
Something's up.
And her hair's blonde again. She's got cute little bangs. Adorable. But so she seems hesitant to leave, and particularly to leave with Pacey.
Yeah.
So you already kind of know something's up.
Yeah, and she eventually tells him, because they go to the pep rally where Dawson is revealed about to be having sex with the lady.
Yes.
And anyway, like she didn't want to be alone with Pacey.
Mm-hmm.
And so finally he's like, what is up?
Mm-hmm.
And she tells him she slept with this other guy. And I was like, whoa.
Whoa. Yeah.
Whoa.
And says it's, he was going through the same thing she was.
Yeah.
And like they just had this connection. But what I didn't quite get, and this was about not long after that where I didn't see the rest of the episode, was she trying to break it off with Pacey, or was she really trying to be like, I'm sorry this happened, I still want to be with you?
That.
Okay.
Like it was a mistake.
So she felt guilty.
And it just broke me up.
Yeah.
And at the end, what you missed at the end was he went and found her at the dock.
Andie.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And she says all that, like, I'm really sorry.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah. Because you saw her there at the school.
Yes.
We find
she
her
tells
later.
him what happened. Yeah, that's what I saw.
And he's just like, I will always love you, but I can't forget this. Like,
I mean, it is.
Because she's like, I need you to forgive me. And he's like, I will forgive you, but I can't forget.
Yeah.
And I just can't be with you. And oh, man.
Especially when he's been waiting all
He's been
summer
waiting
for her to come back.
You know what it makes me think of is, my husband was in the military, and we knew a lot of people whose spouses cheated on them while they were gone.
Oof.
Not me. Thank you very much. I did not have the fucking time nor energy nor care to do that.
Right.
1, 2, and 3. And I'm not a cheater.
Also morals.
Well, also I'm not y'all know I've said before, like I'm a monogamous seal or something. What I said?
I think that's what you said.
Was it?
Are seals
Right.
monogamous?
No, that's not right. That's not right.
But I think maybe.
Turtles? No, what was it?
I mean, penguins are monogamous.
Penguin!
Okay, that's it. That's it. I'm just tossing out
seal
on our Porky's episode.
Actually, no.
I had all this Florida knowledge. Today I have all this this episode I have all this animal knowledge.
Yeah. Anyway, I did not do that. I had small kids. I'm not that way. But we had a lot of people who did, and I always thought about the service member coming home.
Oh, yeah.
Like being in a literal war zone, and you come home and you find that out. That's got to wreck. Like,
oh, that's so awful.
Can you imagine?
No. Now, here's a question on the flip side. Maybe you don't know the answer. Are service people unfaithful when they're out in the field?
Yeah.
Like when they're away from home?
We knew someone who had an affair with another
service
officer
person. Okay. Mm-hmm. I was just curious. Like if they're
it happens all the time.
It's like illegal, right? Isn't it illegal to commit adultery in the military or something? I'll tell you later where I'm getting this information.
Illegal in the I don't know.
I think that's true. I mean,
it's against the. Well,
I don't know
against
that
your vows.
I don't think it's enforced, but I think it's against the law.
What?
I'll tell you why when we're not on air.
I'll
tell you
Troy.
why I think.
I'll ask him. But like for instance, pilots can't wear their wedding. You can't wear jewelry when you're flying. So they, Troy had like a silicone one he would take off and put in his flight suit. But a lot of people just like, I don't wear a wedding ring most of the time because it gets in my way. It bothers me. Right. And I mean, hello, we've been married for 22 years. Like,
but Brant doesn't even have one.
Yeah, who cares? It doesn't matter. It's a symbol. But a lot of times pilots would leave them off on purpose.
Wow.
There's
so this is kind of
everywhere.
Like that. Like where
it's kind of like that,
waiting.
where he's been waiting and anticipating and thinking about their reunion, and then
this is the reunion. Oh, that is so heartbreaking, especially for poor Pacey, because
I know
he's just always having the rug pulled out from under him. And I mean, but like on Andie's side, not to defend her at all, but like again, teenage girl going through a lot, away from home, bonding with someone who's bonding over the same thing as her. I can see how it happened.
Yeah, I mean, and that's okay, but if that is happening before something physical happens, you tell your person.
Yeah, and so what, they would talk on the phone? Is that what he said? She could call him and they'd write letters? Okay. Because
remember the last episode, she talked to his dad.
That's right. Okay. So she would have had, I guess for a split second, I was thinking she wouldn't have had a chance to even tell him, but she would have.
But again, they're teenagers and you mess up and you learn and it's still heartbreaking.
It's still, yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's still sad. And so, and then at the end, did you see the part where Dawson gave Joey his necklace?
Tell me about this. Stupid. Please tell me it's a puka shell necklace.
It's whatever he wears. He like gives it to her. And I can't remember now what they were talking about. But like, I guess about how they'll just always be connected or I don't know, something. And he was, because he's like, do you think every Dawson has a Joey and every Joey has a Dawson?
Oh.
Because they're like, whatever. And he gave her his little necklace and it was cute. But then my last thing I wrote was, did we notice how tan Joey and Eve are? Like, they're so tan.
Well, that was the aesthetic of Eve that we were talking about.
Know.
That super tan.
But Joey was too.
But were we supposed to think that because it had been summer, maybe?
Oh, yeah. But also tanning beds. That's what I wrote.
Also, I mean, totally. This is the height of...
That's when I was going to the tanning bed in the trailer this year's.
That's when I was at the stand-up tanning bed where they pumped in the CD music. Yes. Yes,
that was the one. We had very different tanning experiences.
Now in college, I went the place in college that was near, like right by my apartment. It wasn't a trailer, but it didn't have stand-up ones. It wasn't fancy. It was all.
I've never been to a stand-up one. It was the lay-down ones where you had to clean it after you got out.
The boyfriend I had in college, his aunt had one at her house.
Whoa!
Yeah, she was serious.
She was fancy.
She was fancy. It was a nice one too.
Can you imagine having a tanning bed at your house? That's so weird. But hey.
So, yeah, they were very tan. Just in general, I felt like, and maybe it's because we didn't have a break between season 2 and season 3. You would have live.
Oh, true.
So we literally just finished season 2 and right away now we're watching season 3.
Yeah.
It felt like a totally different show to me.
I know.
Right?
I told you, they tried to get a little more edgy.
And I guess that's when you do it.
Yeah.
That's when you introduce an Eve. Because, like, it's the 3rd season now.
Right.
So you got to get people talking.
Keep it new and fresh.
You got to have people wondering, like, what's going to happen. And on the season premiere, you've got this, like, new hot blonde. Like, who's that? And she's after Dawson. And then the Andie thing with the cheating. And, like, you have to have that stuff, I guess, to keep people engaged. You can't just have the same old storylines. But I don't know, just all of it. And just the vibe of it. I was just like, this feels different.
But then also, like, your viewers are getting older, too.
True.
So
more sophisticated or...
I mean, well... They're teenagers, so they want more.
Oh, we didn't talk about, because I wanted to hear what you thought about really quick. So Jack and Andie's dad decides to move to Capeside.
Oh, yeah.
And so Andie's coming home. And so Grams or someone makes a comment like, oh, I think it's so great you're able to like be here now. But then him and Jack have a moment where he basically tells Jack to stay with Grams and Jen. But his reasoning was interesting.
Yeah.
Because he's like, he said, I want you, like, you have these, like, life choices or, like, whatever you need to do in your life is going to be really hard to do if you're living with me.
Yeah.
So I don't think you should.
So
but I was also kind of like, what choices, though? Like, he's just living his life like a normal kid.
Right.
Like, that you should be taking care of.
I'm sorry, but you don't get to be doing that as a parent.
Right. Yeah, like, I think it'd be weird if I'm there. So you should live with someone else.
Yeah, here.
I thought that was really weird. But then I was also like, he'd probably be happier with Jen and Grams, although him and Andie are close. So being with Andie,
the dad's a mess.
The dad's a mess. But now he's in town.
Yay.
Which I assume the mom's back too.
I know. I was wondering, like, well, what's going on with the mom?
She's probably there too, I would guess.
I don't know.
Unless she's in a facility or something.
I don't know
either. But anyway, season 3 really,
wow, it changes things.
Crashing boats.
That's why I said I don't want to stop, because I remembered what was coming.
No, I'm glad we kept going. Because if in a couple months I had watched this, kind of like,
it would not be the same.
It would not be. I've got the juxtaposition of like the end of last season into this.
And some good stuff happens this season.
Oh, I can't wait.
And Henry is the best.
Okay. I really have forgotten about Henry.
Oh my God. He's the cutest, clumsiest little thing.
I loved his persistence.
I know. And he's like that. And I adore him. I had the biggest crush on him.
Really?
Oh my God. Yes.
Aww.
I did.
Okay. We'll have to watch him.
And he was a legit teen in the...
Yeah. He's supposed to be younger than everyone.
I think he was... Oh no. Well, now I just was like, was I a weirdo and had a crush on somebody super young?
I mean, I don't think he was like that young.
No.
He was probably your age.
I was
He just
19.
looked young. Yeah. He was probably 17,
now I
18,
gotta look
19.
it up. Now I'm like,
Uh-oh. No. He's probably close to your age.
It's like when Twilight came out.
Uh-huh.
Did you ever watch those movies?
Oh, yeah.
And like, I remember sitting in the theater watching when Taylor Lautner came on the screen shirtless.
Uh-huh.
And we all were like, are we allowed to think he's hot yet? And we're like, okay, he's 19. All right.
Yeah. Is it okay?
Like,
is it okay? You're like frozen.
We all, because I went with a bunch of moms, and we're like frozen. We're like, how are we allowed to feel right now?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Well, now you got to dig a little on
Well,
Henry.
I mean, I was still a teenager, so
it's okay.
Whatever.
It's not like now. Yeah. You're good. You're good.
Fine.
Awesome. Well, I hope you guys are watching season 3 with us right now on Hulu. By the time you hear this, probably for 4 or 5 more days.
Who knows?
But we'll find out where it's going to be next. And don't worry, we'll keep watching it. And I'll just be watching it on Amazon Prime no matter what.
Katie's just throwing money.
Doesn't matter. Just watch it on Amazon Prime, and that's the easiest way. That's my life hack. Make it easy.
All right.
Don't go searching for passwords at 4 a.m, y'all.
You heard
just
it here first.
$1.99. Okay. Please take this advice with you as you go into the world.
Place it in your heart.
Yes. All right. Well, we'll see you on the next edition of Dawson's Creek, Nostalgic or Problematic, and all of our regular episodes.
Woo!
See you soon. Bye.